Merle Oberon was a Golden Age actress best known for her roles in such 1930s classics as Wuthering Heights, The Scarlet Pimpernel, and The Private Life of Henry VIII. While she was an acclaimed actress during her time, she took many secrets with her to her grave. One was her Indian heritage, which she hid from the public to avoid racial discrimination. Another was the fact that Merle's face was scarred as a result of a tragic car accident midway through her career. Join Factsverse as we take a look at how Merle Oberon hid her facial scars after her tragic accident. Merle had a dark secret. Merle Oberon was a Golden Age actress that, for a time, was considered one of the most beautiful in all of Hollywood. But there were several secrets she was hiding from the public that may have swayed this public opinion. She was born in 1911, and the circumstances of her birth remained largely unknown throughout her life. The real story of the actress wasn't revealed to the public until several years after her death. The two biggest secrets she kept from the public were her Indian heritage and the fact that she had numerous scars on her face from a tragic accident that occurred halfway through her career. One of Merle's most prominent roles was Catchy in the 1939 Hollywood adaptation of Wuthering Heights. This was one of numerous film roles that saw the Indian actress successfully pass as white in the eyes of both the industry and audiences. There was a good reason Merle hid her heritage, and it wasn't because she was ashamed of it. She was simply aware there was no room in Hollywood at that time for anyone with a non-white background. It wasn't all that hard for her to pass as white, specifically in those days when there wasn't any color on screen. The actress did look white, but those who knew about her Indian heritage would be able to notice some of her more distinct features. Her mother was Indian, while her father was British. Merle became an actress as a teen. She set her sights on performing during her teenage years and moved to London at age 17. It was there that she was found by a British director named Alexander Korda, who cast Merle in her first big film. Not only that, Alexander went on to become her first husband. He cast her in The Private Life of Henry VIII, released in 1933. The film proved a success and showed that Merle Oberon had potential as Hollywood's newest leading lady. Following that, she could be seen in features like The Scarlet Pimpernel and The Dark Angel. The latter saw Merle receive a much-deserved Academy Award nomination, which was the only that she received over the course of her life. She also appeared in A Song to Remember and That Uncertain Feeling. It's been said director Alexander Korda was the one who helped Merle concoct the story that would hide her true racial heritage. The story went that she was born in Tasmania to British parents who passed away, leaving her to be raised by wealthy Indian godparents. The story proved palatable amongst her fans, and few questioned it. Besides her Indian heritage, the other fact about her birth that was obscured from the public was the fact that her mother was only 12 when she was born. It's also uncertain whether or not the man Merle believed was her father was actually her father, though he could have been. The woman listed on Merle's birth certificate was actually her grandmother, who was 26 at the time. This means that Merle's grandmother had her mother when she herself was only 14. Merle didn't find out about the true identity of her mother until later in life. Before we tell you more, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Merle was scared of the truth. Merle Oberon grew up believing her mother was her sister, and that a man who was perhaps a random stranger had been her father. The man she believed was her father died when Merle was still young, which left her and her supposed aunt and mother to fend for themselves as an impoverished and broken family unit in India. When Merle was born, her family felt the future actress's mother was too young, and they didn't want to garner controversy. That's why they chose to list her grandmother as her mother on her birth certificate. Her true mother went on to have more kids after she was born, and it was one of these kids who later spilled the beans to Merle the truth about her birth. These kids grew up thinking Merle was their aunt and were shocked to learn she was their sister. Though the truth was revealed by her step-sibling, Merle refused to see that step-sibling and kept them at a distance for the rest of her life. Her first hit films were all British, though the actress went on to receive greater fame when she came overseas and made a name for herself in Hollywood proper. She came to Hollywood at age 24 and was given a contract with producer Samuel Goldwyn. Goldwyn cast her in The Dark Angel, which netted her the aforementioned Academy Award nomination. She had certainly come a long way. After the death of the man she believed was her father, Merle lived a life of poverty and hardship before finally striking it big. Alexander Korda was the first of her husbands. Despite not being born into the nicest situation, the young girl tried her hardest in school and was able to receive a scholarship to a private academy. This was a fairly miserable experience, however, as the kids bullied her about her mixed heritage and her dead father. Merle eventually decided to drop out and be homeschooled by the woman she believed to be her mother. She got into acting thanks to a British man named Ben Finney. Ben was originally her boyfriend, though he broke up with her once he realized her mom was Indian. Still, the two remained friends, and it was through Ben's connection that Merle first started getting work as an actress. Alexander Korda was the first of 4 spouses Merle had. They were married from 1939 to 45, though they had an on and off again relationship for many years prior. Following their divorce, Merle married a cinematographer named Lucien Ballard. Ballard helped Merle hide yet another secret she kept from the public. Those were the scars on her face from a tragic car accident. After that accident in the mid-1930s, she thought she'd never work again, but cinematographer Lucien Ballard ended up inventing a special light just for Merle that made the scars barely visible to the camera. Merle was so impressed by his work, she divorced her first husband and married him instead, but their marriage was even shorter than her first. They tied the knot in 1945 and divorced in 49. Her third husband was an Italian businessman named Bruno Pagliai that she attempted to start an adopted family with. This marriage lasted from 1957 to 1973. Her final husband was actor Robert Wolders, and they were married from 1975 until Merle's death from a stroke in 79. Robert then went on to marry Audrey Hepburn. Besides her 4 husbands, Merle was also romantically linked to John Wayne during her life. Now it's time to hear from you. Which part of this story was most surprising to hear about? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content. By the way, if you haven't joined Facts First as a member yet, be sure to look below this video and click the join button. By becoming a paid member of Facts First, you'll get access to exclusive video content that you won't find anywhere else. This includes some of our more mature content that isn't suitable for public audiences, which includes topics like Hollywood actresses who posed for Playboy and some of the steamiest moments in movie history. Plus, you can enjoy these videos completely ad-free. Our biggest fans will notice they also get badges next to their name when they leave comments on our videos. We pay special attention to comments from our members, and so do other viewers. So if you want exclusive content from Facts First or inside access to discussions with other community members, click the join button to get started for just $4.99. There are hours of members-only videos waiting for you, with new videos added every month. And we're actively working on bringing even more features to help fans like you connect with other members and get more of your favorite content. Just click join, and we'll see you inside the membership tab.